Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 1 from DIA 5D and today we are going to review an article for Task 1. I would like to start this review with article identification. After doing several searches and discussions, our group has agreed to choose an article titled "Do Malaysians Influencers Have to Pay Tax?" This article was written by Mr. Arif Kamel and was published on 13 March 2020.
Who is an influencer? Influencer is someone who has the power to affect the purchasing decision of others because of his or her authority, knowledge, position or relationship with his or her audience. Next, influencers in social media are people who have built a reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. They make regular posts about the topic on their preferred social media channels and generate large following authoristic engaged people who pay close attention to their views. Many have been asking and may be still wondering what is influencer management and how does being a social media influencer, especially a full-time influencer, really make a living, particularly in Malaysia. There are many ways where the influencer get paid based on the type of content they create. As influencer, it doesn't matter what their job are, as long as they reach the exact amount after EPF reduction, they need to file their taxes at Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. According to the Income Tax Act 1967, as influencer need to declare the income on their behalf, thus there is no exception for minors.
How to calculate income tax for influencers and digital businesses? For the purpose of calculating income tax, influencers first need to acquire their business total statutory income. Here is a simple calculation as a guide. First, they have to calculate the income. For example, paid review is 20,000 ringgit, advertisement is 6,000 ringgit, brand ambassador is 12,000 ringgit, dropship or own product is 14,000 ringgit, so the total income will be 52,000 ringgit. Second, they need to calculate the expenditure. For example, advertising cost is 3,000 ringgit, internet is 500 ringgit, yearly subscription is 1,700 ringgit, employee wage is 13,000 ringgit, employee EPF is 1,500 ringgit, service is 4,500 ringgit, transportation and journey is 3,000 ringgit, office rental is 10,500 ringgit, so the total expenditure will be 37,700 ringgit and the net profit will be 14,300 ringgit. Third, they need to calculate the expenses that are not allowed. For example, own EPF is 15,000 ringgit, Companies Commission of Malaysia registration is 1,000 ringgit, domain registration is 200 ringgit, so the total expenses will be 16,200 ringgit and the business income will be 30,500 ringgit. Fourth, they have to calculate the capital allowance. For example, furniture is 500 ringgit, computer is 2,000 ringgit, so the total capital allowance will be 2,500 ringgit and the business statutory income will be 28,000 ringgit. Documents required to claim business expenditure. If you want to make claims on your expenditure, the following is a list of documents and records that you need to keep for 7 years as proof for the IRB. Statement from payment gateways such as PayPal, IP88, and more. Domestic and personal expenditure. Bank statements, income statements from advertising firms such as Navneg and Google AdSense. Sales invoice and purchase record. Confirmation of sale and purchase through email. Agreement document. Original receipts of each exemption and expenditure claim. Tax exemption or tax relief for influencers. Interestingly, some of your business expenses can be claimed for tax exemption. Business expenses that are allowed for tax exemption are expenditure that generates the business revenue. For example, wage, employee EPF or SOCSO, business insurance for theft or fire, business premise rental, interest, annual domain payment, and server rental. Meanwhile, there are some expenses that are not allowed for tax exemption. First, domestic and personal expenditure. For example, electricity bill, home water supply, children's education fees, and depreciation. Second, purchase of personal assets. For example, car, house, and furniture. Third, others, which is SSM registration, domain name or server registration.
After we doing some research, which is our main source is from Lembaga Hasil Dalaman Negeri, which is LHDN, that teach influencer to pay tax. Turn out, if your income earn more than 34,000 a year, roughly 2,800 per month, after EPF reduction, you need to file your tax. So it's not just about income you receive in cash. If you pay products or holiday, then you will need to declare it as an income too. This type of payment from your client as payment in kind is taxable. For example, if your client give you a free holiday to the resort as a payment, this is considered as your income. If some of us are unsure whether influencer need to pay tax, turn out some influencers themselves didn't know. According to a study from ADMC, but knowing this won't see you from getting into trouble because you can get fined for not filling your tax. So this one is under section 114, that any person who willfully and with intent to evade or assist any other person to evade tax should be guilty of an offence and shall on conviction be liable to be fined than 1,000 ringgit and not more than 20,000 ringgit or to imprison for a term not exceeding 3 years or both. But just paying your taxes doesn't mean you're safe from fine. Not following the proper step can get you fined too. According to an LHDN spoken event, taxpayers tend to make mistake when filing their tax, especially for the first timer, which leads to more fine. So that's all for income tax on social media. So the end of the summary, that if the influencer earn more than 34,000 per year, which is roughly 2,833 per month, they need to declare and pay their tax with the proper amount, proper way, and in the time given. So that's all. Thank you. After we doing some research, which is our main source is from Lembaga Hasil Dalaman Negeri, which is LHDN, that teach influencer to pay tax. Turn out, if your income earn more than 34,000 a year, roughly 2,800 per month, after EPF reduction, you need to file your tax. So it's not just about income you receive in cash. If you pay products or holiday, then you will need to declare it as an income too. This type of payment from your client as payment in kind is taxable. For example, if your client give you a free holiday to the resort as a payment, this is considered as your income. If some of us are unsure whether influencer need to pay tax, turn out some influencers themselves didn't know. According to a study from ADMC, but knowing this won't see you from getting into trouble because you can get fined for not filling your tax. So this one is under section 114, that any person who willfully and with intent to evade or assist any other person to evade tax should be guilty of an offence and shall on conviction be liable to be fined than 1,000 ringgit and not more than 20,000 ringgit or to imprison for a term not exceeding 3 years or both. But just paying your taxes doesn't mean you're safe from fine. Not following the proper step can get you fined too. According to an LHDN spoken event, taxpayers tend to make mistake when filing their tax, especially for the first timer, which leads to more fine. So that's all for income tax on social media. So the end of the summary, that if the influencer earn more than 34,000 per year, which is roughly 2,833 per month, they need to declare and pay their tax with the proper amount, proper way, and in the time given.
So, in conclusion, taxes paid by every citizen, including influencers, are actually important for the development of our country. If the country does not have tax revenue, then we will not see schools, hospitals, and many other facilities developed for our own use as citizens. all the development and economic results we enjoy now are the result of tax collection. Imagine if the country has no tax or some of us don't want to pay taxes, maybe all the facilities we enjoy all this time won't be there. If individuals comply with paying taxes, we can avoid the country becoming bankrupt due to the debt burden of the World Bank or the government of other countries. Individual taxpayers in particular need to have a sense of responsibility and emphasize the concept of contributing within each individual. That's it. What is given will benefit and be enjoyed again in the future. Therefore, it is not just to meet the demand of the tax law, but rather to instill awareness and cooperate with the government to develop the country for the sake of common life. Paying taxes is a patriotic act and should be used as a slogan, as a hero to the country. So, let us Malaysians who are eligible to be taxed based on income be categorized as a part of the national heroes. Ultimately, tax money is for our mutual benefit.